What's up, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of the Set the Tone podcast. Let's set the tone, y'all. I'm the host, Tone D Mac. What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. A little bit about myself. I'm Tone D Mac, comedian, actor, spiritual person. So my friends say, whatever. But if you're checking this podcast out, I like to set the tone. That's something I like to do. So everything is straightforward, no cut cards. We're going to get into first episode titled Authentic. Authentic. I'm gonna ask you, audience, are you authentic? Are you an authentic person? Because what I find, I'm spending a lot of time by myself nowadays, and I realize that in today's world, with the help of social media and things like that, it's hard to find authentic people, right? It's hard to find authentic people. Why is that? Why? Why is it hard to find authentic people anymore? Because a lot of times is when you're authentic, when you're authentic, you are true to yourself, okay? You are true to yourself. The more authentic you are, the more it is easier to find fake people. Like, I'm a person that can't fake the funk. All right, I have to be authentic. I have to be. It's in my DNA to be authentic. I have no choice. Okay, I can't fake it. But when people come around me and they're not authentic, I immediately can spot it. Okay, I immediately spot it. And people don't like when you can see them because people wear masks. Okay, like I was recently watching the movie The Mask, and it's a great movie. One of my favorite movies in 1994 or something like that. If you a little bit younger, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you're older and you've seen it, you remember the movie. Go back and watch the movie. I watched the movie as an adult now the other day, and I realized that Jim Carrey's character played character Stanley Ipkiss, and he was a born guy, regular dude, and he happened to find this mask, and then when he put the mask on, he gained powers. He became charismatic, he became funny, he became something that he was not himself when he had this mask on. And that's a perfect representation of society, because so many people wear these masks now that you don't know who anybody is. You know, social media helps social media helps with that illusion. It helps. You know what I'm saying? Like that. TV also helps with that illusion. People aren't authentic, okay? Everything you see on social media, that is a perception. That's who they want you to see them as. That's not who they actually are. Okay. Another funny thing that I seen recently was I don't know if you know MTV Cribs. There's one particular episode that I feel like there was the realest episode on the planet, and that was Redman's episode. Redman's episode showed us his exact self. He did not pretend. Okay. Normally on MTV Cribs, you come in, you go to this mansion and things like that. Most people rent those mansions out. Most people rent those mansions out. It don't even be their house, but we think it's their house because we're naive, and the perception that all these social media influencers, all these people acting, all these people who rappers and things like that, we think that they're getting all this money when they're really not, you know. So the perception was skewed. But when Redman did his episode, it was like, wow, I was not expecting that. He lived like he lived in a bad. He lived in like a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom place. His cousin sleeping on the floor. He showed you his actual true life, and that happens to be one of the most viewed MTV Cribs episode because of how authentic it was. You know, like being authentic will challenge you. I want everybody that's listening, I want you to be authentic. I want you to be authentic. Why? Why is that? Because that means you're real. That means you're real. Right? What is authentic? What is authentic? Sorry if you can hear the paper flip. I have some notes here because I don't want to lose track. What is authentic? Authentic is something real or genuine, not counterfeit. Okay? Something real or genuine, not counterfeit. Right? So for me, is I've worked in a lot of places that deals with like money. Okay? Cashier, things like that. And I was trained specifically on catching fake bills. You know, anything with cash, dealing with people giving you money, you have to be trained on how to handle money because people will try to come in and scam you. So one day, this is my first and only time that I ever got scammed. After that, I was like, yeah, no bueno. Somebody comes in and he gives me a 50. So I'm just thinking that it's just a normal 50 because it passed the pen test. Boom, passed the pen test. So go out, leave, give him to do his change or whatever. And I should have knew something was up because he bought something for like $3 and they paid with a 50 that, you know. So gives him back $47 and change. So come the end of the night, I'm counting my register out and my manager, he goes, hey, something's wrong with this 50. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, it's fake. I'm like, well, how was I supposed to know? Because I did the pen test and, you know. So he was like, hey, I gotta write you up, but, you know, I'm gonna teach you something right now. Like when you get a counterfeit bill or you think that it's counterfeit, one, you do a paper test. See if it's counterfeit. Two, you hold it up to the light. And that's what was my friend. Hold it up to the light. So when you hold it up to the light, you can see that the faces were different. And that was the key. That makes me understand the way people are living now is that when you hold people to the light, you can see that they're counterfeit. You can see that they're fake. You can see that. So everybody that's listening, I know this is the first episode, you know, I've been rambling and whatnot. There'll be more episodes, but I just want you guys to understand that being authentic in today's time is a blessing that you shouldn't take lightly. And if you are authentic, kudos to you. But I want everybody to just practice just being authentic. Practice being yourself. Because when you're authentic, you don't follow the crowd. The crowd follows you. When you're authentic, you don't follow the crowd. The crowd follows you. You know? Just imagine, like, I want you to take some time after you turn this episode off. I want you to say, I want to be the most authentic version of myself. The most authentic version of myself. How does that look? How does you being your most authentic self look? I want you to take the mask off. Take it off. Take the mask off. Because when you are authentic in the beginning, it is very vulnerable. It is very scary because most people are used to you putting that mask on. But when you start to live yourself in an authentic way, you realize how freeing it is. Because now you don't care what people think. Now you don't care how other people perceive you because this is the real, authentic version of yourself. You know? So, again, take the time to just sit with yourself and say, hey, I want to live more authentic. I want to take my mask off. I want to be real with myself. And then when you find out that once you are immune. Once you are authentic, you are immune to criticism. You are immune to people like you don't care anymore what people think anymore. You just don't care. You want to be the most realist version of yourself. Okay? So that has been today's first episode. You stick with me, as you know, everything's going to be come in due time. But just remember to be authentic. Just remember to be yourself. And this has been Set the Tone. First episode. We're going to come off hot. So stay tuned for more episodes next time. Let go.